Here's a sneak peek from today's episode.
I mean, it's pure emotion, right? You are shopping with your best friend. You're shopping with someone who you admire, who you like. You're going on and you're joining a shopping show that has your friends, your values. Like that's how the shopping experience online is working, right? You go on TikTok, you shop from one of your favorite influencers, you're talking with them. That's is purely emotion. And so I think a good host knows how to draw that out.
Welcome back to another episode of Content Amplified, where we interview the best marketers who have taken their content to the next level. Each episode is only 10 to 15 minutes long and is an industry expert interview to give you actionable tips that you can use today. Enjoy the episode. Welcome back to another episode of Content Amplified. Today I'm joined by Tamara. Tamara, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tamara, this is going to be fun. This is a subject I know very little about, but you have some really cool insights and I think everyone will find interesting. But before we dive in, let's get to know you. Tell us about your background and work history.
Yeah, well, I will give you the short version. And I think, everyone in marketing usually has a really fun way of how we got here. And I came through investigative journalism. I was a journalist for nearly 2 decades and I loved it and I loved producing content. And then I decided to go help founders tell their stories. So I got into marketing through that, helping with communication. Then I ended up launching a company with a couple of really clever co-founders. And it was a live selling shopping platform. And we did that, built it up, had a great time doing it. And now I am a fractional CGO, as well as I'm launching some pretty cool technology. So that is my short introduction.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Well, Tamara, when we're looking at shopping, you have this really cool experience. AI is changing the game. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff when it comes to SEO and discovery and social media and all of that. What is changing? Like, where is this space even going? What have you noticed as of late?
I mean, shopping itself, the experience online is changing, especially with AI and how you can have, your chat GPT find products for you, and which is also challenging now for the founders, for the people who are creating products, because they have to make everything searchable through these chat GPTs and Perplexity and things like that, optimized for Bing, because Bing is where chat GPT pulls everything from. But that's kind of getting in the weeds. The experience itself is what I'm really fascinated about, because forever shopping was going to Main Street. Shopping was going to the mall, right? You hung out at the mall. You hung out with your friends at the mall. You met your friends on Main Street. You had coffee. You went shopping. It was a very social experience. Now, shopping is a very isolated experience. You go you go to Amazon, you do it as, fast as possible. You follow an influencer, you see what they're doing, and in a click, you shop, it comes to your house, then you try it on, and you like it, you keep it, you don't like it, you return it. It's not a fun experience. And so what I was really fascinated about, especially when I started my company Card Shop Live with my fantastic team, was about how you make shopping a entertaining, community, fun experience again. And so we called it Shoptainment. The live shopping experience is something that we are learning more about in the US. It's wildly popular in other places like China, but here it's growing. You see it on TikTok, you see it on other apps like eBay. Now you've got Fanatics, you've got Shopbop, you've got all these other apps that are coming up. And what they're giving you is a totally different way to shop, which is a community experience where you're chatting with people. You've got someone who's selling you the product. It's not quite like everyone says, well, it's like QVC, but on an app. And I'm like, kind of, but not really, because you're actually talking with other people live and you're talking with the host live. And in some cases, you're bidding on products, which makes it almost gamified. It's just it's completely different than the experience that you have if you're just going to a store and clicking purchase. So that is where I get really fascinated, because it's growing. It still hasn't caught fire yet, but it is catching fire. And this is where I think a lot of the opportunity for people, especially new brands, have to introduce their product and to start doing something more innovative.
I love that. Okay, so I'm going to throw you the ultimate curveball, and I apologize, but I feel like you can handle it. So what you just described, I feel like is not exclusive to the shopping experience.
I feel like this disconnect with the human experience, getting together with friends and family, or even, the gathering around the water cooler. How many companies have come out trying to simulate that activity because it's no longer in reality, it's digital because we're all remote. What does live video, because this shopping experience, this live experience, live video, how is that potentially kind of finding its way into all sorts of different industries and opportunities? And what's the value of live video today? What are your thoughts there?
I mean, it's huge. Part of me really loves it. And as like a technologist or someone who's like thinking about how we can leverage technology to bridge the gap between the human experience, I'm like, this is fascinating. The other part of me as a mom who's like, I don't want my kids to be like raised thinking that being isolated and befriending people on a screen is the only way to do things. So it's like, how do we create safe boundaries and make sure that we can create experiences for, like you said, like remote work, that brings people together in a really great way, but allows the flexibility of working in a space that you want to work while not making it so overwhelming that this is the only experiences that we have. So I guess that's a question that I think about a lot. But when you think about the opportunities out there for what we should be doing, I mean, one of the companies that I followed was trying to create a virtual co-working space for problems like this, right? Like there are all these solutions that are coming up where you can find safe spaces to come collaborate, meet with live video. I don't think that I've seen a solution yet where I'm like, this is as magical as like how live shopping has really captured that need for connection in a certain industry. But the need there is, I think I would argue gaming has done a good job of this, right?
Yeah.
Because you're on Twitch, you're talking with everybody, you're playing your games, you're making friends, you know who these people are, even though it's like their nickname. So you'd see gaming, shopping is doing, better at it. The remote work, I think we're still far from finding that really great solution. Dining, I think, is an interesting space to get into where you could have some sort of group dining, but be in the comfort of your own home. So yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. So one of the cool things about live video, and you're talking about the shopping experience, one of the cool things as a storyteller and as someone who knows how to, find the story, share the story, things like that, how does it make an emotional connection to the buyer? Because it sounds like you figured out a way in shopping to take this emotional and connective experience and put that online. How does it really build on the emotional side of things?
I mean, it's pure emotion, right? You are shopping with your best friend. You're shopping with someone who you admire, who you like. You're going on and you're joining a shopping show that has your friends, your values. Like that's how the shopping experience online is working, right? You go on TikTok, you shop from one of your favorite influencers, you're talking with them. That's is purely emotion. And so I think a good host knows how to draw that out.
That's really cool. Where is it going? Like, what is shopping going to look like in 5 years from now? Like, what do you think might still continue to change? What are some of these trends that you feel like we should be aware of?
So I'll say where I hope it goes. And it's an idea that I have wanted to create myself for a very long time, but I know I'm just not going to do it. So I'll give it away. I, for a very long time, was and still am into sustainability, but not necessarily working in the fashion world anymore. And so, what I really hope that we leverage the live shopping for is to reduce fast fashion and reduce over consumption to buying items that you really want and covet, and reduce the amount you buy to more quality and more, I don't know, just not going to a store that has $5 shirts and buying 30 of them, and going to one place and buying something that you really want and you're willing to wait a month for it to be made and shipped to you, so that we don't have a lot of over production of clothes that then just go into the landfill. And so what I think we'll start seeing, and I hope we start seeing, are things like pre-releases, limited releases in some sort of like fashion show setting where you can go and, instead of having only buyers from Nordstrom's and celebrities in the front row of these fashion shows, you have the live shopping apps with, influencers and shops being able to sell these products, or I should say the fashion designers selling some of these limited edition products live, so that then it's pre-purchase. The consumer will wait for it to be made and shipped. And you're reducing so much overhead and waste that's in the fashion industry that, like, I mean, I think it would make a huge difference. So that's where I hope things go, because there's the real opportunity to do that. What it depends on, which is the hardest thing for anyone to do, is to change consumer behavior. Because what would need to happen for that to be successful is for consumers to be able to wait more than 3 days to have what they want in their hands. And that's hard.
So I think you just described, and this is so fascinating when I was hearing this, and I love this idea. Please, someone do this, because I am a big believer of having less things, but really only purchasing and acquiring the things that are going to genuinely make my life better, and waiting and really focusing on the right things. Generative AI, I think, is following kind of along the lines of what you described we shouldn't be doing. So you've got the Amazons and the dollar stores where there's just a ton of waste in products that are going to be consumed, disposed of, all in the same day.
Yeah.
As opposed to really focusing on needs, high quality, potentially even personalized purchases that fit our exact needs. Same thing happens with content and entertainment and things in general. Rather than having mass produced amounts of content, people are craving better content, more personalized, more thought out, things like that, because there's a sea of information out there, but they want something of substance, and AI isn't providing it for them. It's giving that mass turn. So I love that. I think it'll be interesting to see the pendulum swing in one or the other direction. So I love that mission and effect there. I think that's super cool.
On that note, something that I've been following, and this was first brought up with a marketer that I follow on Instagram, Marketing with Sam. I'll give her a shout out, but she was talking about the rise of the curator because of the fact that now we're just being bombarded with so much information. What we're going to start following is not just influencers. We're going to start following curators, people that we like, the information that they pull, and they're going to just curate what we need to know. And so we will follow them on Substack and pay for it versus being on the social media channels anymore, because we're just bombarded with what we don't know is real or fake. We're going to need to trust someone to sort through that information for us.
Yeah, I love that. I also see that role inside of a community. There are people inside of communities that are the curators. They're the centers of conversation because they're the ones willing to kind of sort through everything and say, okay, here's the real piece. Here's the real nugget. I think that's so powerful. Okay. Tamara, this has been amazing. We are running out of time. I could go in a million different directions, and this has been so fascinating. Thank you so much for your perspective. I think that there are so many great insights in here. If anyone wants to connect with you online and reach out, how and where can they find you?
So LinkedIn, you can find me on LinkedIn. It's my name, Tamara Laine. Also, I've got a YouTube show called What the Frac, where we dive into fractional executive strategies for marketing and business growth. And so you can find us there and on LinkedIn. And yeah, that's it. Send me a DM. I'll connect with you.
Love it. Anyone listening, we will link to everything in the show notes below as well. So go ahead and click there. Tamara, again, thank you so much for your time and energy today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. So good to be here.
Thank you for listening to the Content Amplified podcast. Please subscribe and leave us a review. And for additional ways to get more out of your content, visit our website at getmasset.com. That's getmasset.com. And tune in next time to the Content Amplified podcast.